So here we go, guys. This is Wednesday, April 29, 2020. So now, after going through most of the roster and lists and everything else, there's about a little less than 10 of you guys overall that are left here for economics. So I just wanted to kind of, like I said, go through a few things here to finish up today, and then the rest of the week. We'll try to go through everything, at least to this particular point. So what you guys have, again, are those Google Sheets or the Google Doc papers that you can do if you'd like to go either way. That's your call as far as this stuff goes. Just a reminder, guys, again, May 4th is officially the last day for all of you seniors that you guys have left with me. We're not exactly sure how closing out the process is going to go. I have heard some things about Chromebooks and stuff, but I'm not going to do that yet until we have it finalized by Principal Weathers and administration, because it's going to be up to each individual school building to figure out how they want to work that process. So we do have some ideas in place. There are going to be some opportunities to come in around, not in the building, around the building, to be able to pick up some of your stuff and different kinds of things that are going to happen from here on out. So like I said, we'll kind of see how that goes here the next couple of weeks and what goes into it overall as well, and then we'll kind of continue along with that. We still don't know more about graduation. We'll probably let you guys know more towards middle of June and see what potentially is going on there. The first date is looking like June 26th at Memorial Auditorium. Like I said, we'll figure that out later. The other one is like July 27th at Memorial Auditorium. Again, more information, time to come as far as that stuff goes. But you guys are most definitely done with being in the school building in any way, shape, or form. All testing stuff's done. All that stuff that we talked about multiple times as well. So here's the situation, guys, that you find yourself in. Finishing up Section 7, the last stuff for the entire class will be due by this Friday, May 1st, and then all the grades and stuff will be updated by the end of the week, and then Monday it'll be official for you guys to have everything finished behind you. No real main issue there as far as all that stuff is concerned. Okay, so make sure we're good to go there. Again, just so you guys can kind of see this for Section 7, you've got the two Google Sheets, which most of you guys have already done, that are left with me, and then the Google Doc for the answer paperwork documents as well. So if you guys have done the folio, again, hopefully you've taken some of this to heart, where you've got the car outline, the home outline, basically how you finance stuff, and then the paying for college outline, which, again, this is about as real as I can give you guys for this. And then yesterday, we finally finished up the last part of this review, which, like I said, I call it your real life survival outline, where you have a job you find at a city, see how much that job pays you. Then you have to finance a car, maybe have a car for a trade-in as a down payment. You have a house that you got to look for. You've got college and education you've got to pay for. You've got a credit card you're borrowing money on. Then you've got expenses, the regular 7 bills that most Americans pay per month. All right, and then you've got that total, which is how much is left over at the end of the day with all this stuff that's taken out and added together. All right. So again, I hope that was relatively simple, because you've done this a couple times. But this, guys, again, is a basic fundamental thing that everybody deals with literally every single month. I do. Your parents, grandparents, whoever it is pays the bills, has to deal with every single month when you're borrowing money, financing stuff, paying for things. All right. If you're doing, excuse me, the paperwork and the Google Doc, all right. So here's basically what we've gotten to, at least to this particular point, and I will, like I said, continue on with this. Today, we've gotten to savings and investments, all these other different types of things that are basically needed, and you're trying to find the details therein. So here's what you guys have, at least to this point. We've done, financial stuff. We've done savings, investments. We've done assets. So now what you've got, and I'll just kind of go through this so you kind of see this. For a mutual fund, okay, as far as this stuff goes, that's the next vocabulary word down there. A mutual fund, guys, is a term of investment. It is an opportunity for people to come through and just basically have different kinds of ways that people look at it in terms of borrowing money and pulling your money together and going in on an investment as a group. Again, an investment is something where you basically put your money to work. A mutual fund is where you and a bunch of your friends and partners go in together and you split whatever money you make or profit at the end of this. The next one is what's called a primary market. All right, a primary market is where most money is monitored and kept. That is basically savings and financial systems overall as far as that stuff goes. Okay, then the last one, or the next to last one here, is what we have called a capital market. Guys, the term capital comes from the idea of something gets turned into actual physical cash. Okay, it is the idea of something can be turned into money, and I don't mean like, hey, I put money online. I mean like it can actually be cashed out. So this is what we call a financial asset. Financial asset is a capital market. It is the idea of all your stuff can be sold, resold, different kinds of things can happen without too many issues for you guys there at the exact same time. All right, and then the last one that is left is what we call a money market. Okay, so with a money market, this is actually a term of investment because it is an opportunity. It is an account where you basically treat it like a savings account, except you earn interest on it. One of the things that people don't tell you, and this is what I wish we would have had time for the last true week of school, is you can use all these banks and credit unions to your advantage. How do you do that? You basically flip the script in the scenario where you are giving the bank money and they will pay you back instead of you taking money from them. This is what we call investments, where you literally take money you have and you move it into a different account. What does that mean? Instead of it being a savings account, you literally click a bunch of buttons online, whether it's SunTrust, First Tennessee, Tennessee Valley Credit Union, and say, hey, I don't want this to be in a savings account. I want it to be in a money market account. What does that mean? It basically means if a savings account, a bank is allowed to hold the money and really not do anything with it except for kind of borrow it and trade it in your name and make themselves money. If it's a money market account, they are allowed to borrow money from you and they will pay you back for letting them borrow your money with a thing we call interest. Everything I've told you the last 2.5, 3 weeks, the idea of interest is a bad thing. It is the idea of you basically have to borrow money from a bank and they're going to charge you a fee for borrowing that money. Well, guess what? With a money market and an investment account, this is where the bank borrows money from you. So guess what? Since they're borrowing money from you, you are going to get an interest rate you're going to charge them, and they are going to pay you back what you let them borrow plus extra, which is the interest. So this is one of the things that people kind of look at and go through different areas. And this is why you have 3 different ideas in 3 different ways. You have savings, you have investments, and then you have stuff you can use as payment. Okay, this is by far one of the biggest things that people seem to misinterpret. Most people think, hey, if I save money, that's money I'm going to have later. And it is. But literally that money's not growing. The money's literally sitting there doing nothing. The only way it grows is if you can add to it. If you're investing money, this is where you literally put money into somewhere and it's going to grow. Why? Because you are basically letting that money be borrowed and you're going to get paid back what it is you let be borrowed plus a fee for letting somebody borrow your money. That is an investment in a nutshell. And then the last one, the idea of an asset, is something that you have that you can use to pay for stuff later. This is not something I would recommend doing because a lot of repo businesses and stuff make a lot of money off of this because they take your assets and they use it as payment. But you could cash it out later if you wanted to. People do it on eBay all the time, Craigslist. They sell old stuff. And it's not a great way of doing business, but it is a way of doing business. So this is just the main thing that kind of builds along with this idea of what we have now in an economy. There are ways where the basic idea of saving money is great, but it's not a real big money maker, but it is a guaranteed thing. Investment, you can make money go to work, or you can just basically buy a bunch of stuff and resell it. That's the basic idea of what a lot of people use in our banking system and economic systems overall as well here in the United States, and just kind of going forward in different ways, shapes, and forms. All right. So again, guys, that is the last page. We will go over the last page of the paper stuff tomorrow. Again, I hope this finds you well. For those of you guys that are left, which is like I said, a little less than 10 people, this is the last stuff for economics, guys. Okay, so you guys can kind of see this. You've got section 7. It'll be due by, like I said, Friday, and that's it. You'll be done. Make sure you either are doing the 2 Google Sheets or you're doing this Google Doc right here, one or the other. If you do both, I'll take whichever one you get the higher grade on, and then we will kind of continue on with some more things tomorrow and Friday, and then we will be done. All right, I will be available this afternoon for Q&A sessions for those of you guys that are left. Not very many, but like I said, I'll be available if you need to talk to me at any shape or any point in time. All right, so hope this finds you well, guys. Finishing it out tomorrow and Friday, and we'll talk more today or the next couple days.